Good afternoon, everyone. How you doing? Good to hear. I am John Velasquez, and I am a member at large for the Southwest Washington Wind Symphony. And today's program is called Synergy, a celebration of when things come together, work, or just flow. Synergy is defined as the interaction and cooperation of two or more organizations or substances or other agents to produce a combined effect greater than the sum of its separate parts. In other words, do you have like a friend or a hobby or experience that affects greater joy in yourself, happiness and value that we expect? For me, it is when I see my wife and my daughter at the end of a workday. Those things in our lives that seem inconsequential mean so much more to us than others realize. But before we begin today's program, I need to remind us all to silence our cell phones, or whatever you call them, your leash, those types of things. And please, if you will, only exit between musical numbers. Our fire marshal also has asked us to avoid standing in the aisleways and entryways as it is prohibited. Our wonderful ushers are here to assist you finding seats if you should need it. Now, our first piece, Synergy Rising, by Associate Director Major Ryan J. Nowlin of the President's Own Marine Band, celebrates the power of collective energy that occurs when communities come together. We come for unity, community, like all of us here today. Major Nowlin wrote this piece in celebration of Wheaton Warrenville High School's dream to build a state-of-the-art music wing onto their school. It was generally accepted that this couldn't have happened without the efforts of each person in the entire community. Like them, we couldn't do this without your support. So thank you, Evergreen Public Schools and Video, for providing space for us to rehearse and the ability for us to record and broadcast our concerts. In particular, we want to thank Thomas Friedman for being here for us up in the booth. Say thank you. Thank you, Thomas. And now, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce our esteemed colleague and our friend, Mark Claassen. He's getting an applause before he even comes out. That's great. He's co-director of bands at Mountain View, bands, percussion, and orchestra at Mountain View High School, and was director right here at Union, so it's like a homecoming. He holds numerous degrees from Central Washington University and was featured as a soloist and principal saxophonist with us here in the Southwest Washington Wind Symphony as well. Please welcome our very own to the podium, Mark Claassen. Wow. Thank you, Mark. That was awesome. I just love the French horn call and the insanely fast woodwinds right here. And it makes me want to wake up in the morning and be a productive member of society. I mean, really, it does. After coffee, of course. But joking aside, well, now, speaking of coffee, one of my favorite times in the morning is when I have my first cup of coffee or tea, and no one else is awake, and I can just sit there and enjoy the smell and the warmth and taste all of that by myself, sitting on a patio. We all have those moments in our lives and our places that are very special to us, moments full of peace, moments full of reflection, and moments full of thought. Our next piece, Shenandoah by Omar Thomas, highlights one of those places in our beautiful world where location and time come together to create a space for those such moments. The word Shenandoah is of unknown Native American origin, Shinhandawi, the river through the spruces, and its assimilations resulted in words such as Shendo and Sharando. Although the meanings are in question among etymologists, fancy word for people who study words, there is very little debate about the beauty of this area we call Shenandoah. How many of you have visited the Shenandoah Valley out there, just by a show of hands? Yeah, there's a few of you. You guys are lucky. I have not myself been able to go, but I hear nothing but beautiful things about it. And for those of us who haven't yet, imagine with us that you're in a time lapse where you witness the entire year go by in a gorgeously wooded river exposed to all the seasonal change and harshness and beauty. That is where Omar Thomas invites you all to sit in the dissonance as the seasons change across Shenandoah Valley. It's really hard for us all back there to, when we're snapping, to snap out of time. We actually have to tell ourselves, don't be in time. But wasn't that a great effect, having the rain at the end? That was really cool. Thank you again, Mark. That was wonderful. I don't know about you, but when I imagine sitting there, having the seasons roll by, my mind always wanders to my place in this world. Who I am, where do I belong, what is important and what is not. You know, those types of things. Traveling has always brought me clarity on some of those questions. How many of you, the audience, have traveled and had experiences that really changed your outlook on your own life? Yes, a lot of us. Traveling to beautiful places like Shenandoah, or staying with host families if you did. I was in Up With People, if you know what that is. So those types of moments, these aha moments, if you will, I grew a better understanding of my connection to the world and greater understanding of my family and my family roots. This next piece I love because it comes from my family pretty much, is a Fiesta by Clifton Williams. It will take us on a trip to San Antonio in the early 1900s. Immediately you'll arrive at a bullfight with matadors, street bands, bright costumes, dancing, and of course, passion. Please enjoy Symphonic Dance number 3. He took my line. Actually, he wrote it in. It said ole, but okay. Well, bien hecho y gracias a todos. That was great. It felt like I was back with my parents in Puerto Vallarta on the Malecón during a street festival. And if you've ever been there, then you know what I mean. Now we're going to shift gears entirely. Our next piece, Grace in Being, written by Julie Giroux. Miss Giroux is an extremely well-rounded composer in almost every format. Her earlier work was composing and orchestrating for film and television. You might know the movie White Men Can't Jump and the 1985 series North and South. She also has arranged music for Reba McEntire, Madonna, and Michael Jackson. Miss Giroux is a 3-time Emmy Award nominee and in 1992 won an Emmy Award in the category of Outstanding Individual Achievement in Music Direction. And while we take a brief pause to tune with our piano, center yourself, because I'm going to ask you a few questions on the way back. Check. Okay, there we go. Okay. Please ask yourself, was there ever a time when you wished people would just accept you for who you are? For me, it was in middle school, most of middle school, and I see some nodding heads out there in agreement. But I believe her program notes say it best about why she wrote the piece. Everybody deserves to be what they were meant to be exactly how God made them. This music was composed for all those who struggle with the oppression of this world, a world that has yet to embrace the differences inherent in each of us. Race, religion, sexual orientation, these things and others should never be oppressed. And it's sad to think that so many in this world live with this oppression. We should stop dreaming of the day when this oppression is lifted and instead work each day to make it so. We each deserve the grace to be. Please enjoy. Thank you for taking that moment with us. Our next piece, we're going to turn her right around, and we're going to go to our Mothership by Michael Tilson Thomas. It takes place right now in a very incredible time in history. Currently, there's a rocket launch almost every 2 days. We are going back to the moon to stay this time and are currently looking for water on Mars. There are 10 humans from 4 different countries floating above us, making discoveries that are going to change the world and possibly everything in the future. And I almost forgot, better internet at the South Pole. We are entering a new phase as humans, and it will take cooperation and collective action for us to achieve the many goals we have. Mothership's energetic exploration of this new age of exploration is strange, cool, different, and downright fun. So buckle up. All systems are nominal, and we're about to leave the tower. Please enjoy Mothership. Like I said, weird but fun. Yeah. That was great work, everyone. Well, have you enjoyed Synergy today, everyone? Well, thank you, thank you. We're unbelievably in our 19th season because of your generous support and your continued attendance at all of our concerts. Also, your donations help us support music education in the community by providing these free concerts. Please help us continue producing these concerts by thinking about making a tax-deductible contribution to our 501c3 nonprofit corporation. That's a wordy sentence, sorry about that. Staff and musicians here, we volunteer our time. Funds are used for auditorium fees, website expenses, music, insurance, gotta have insurance, publicity, recording, expenses, guest musicians, and of course our wonderful conductors. In fact, if you would like to help purchase one of our print pieces of music, please consider making a tax-deductible donation designated in particular to that music purchase. For example, it cost about $427 to purchase and ship the sheet music for 4 of today's pieces, and $495 just to rent and ship the music for one single piece. And for another example, Don Nelson, he is in our clarinet section right here. He's one of our board members. He donated our final piece, and that will be our next piece after this next piece. So if that makes sense, you can see him about it. Anyway, but like Don's donation, yours can be given to the ushers, or you can be mailing it to P.O. Box 1483, Kalama, Washington, 98625-1301. And if you didn't have your pen out, don't worry. We're here to help. I have a card. And thank you, Southwest Washington Wind Symphony musicians. Thank you so much. And our conductor, Mark Claassen. Give him another round of applause. These are valuable gifts we love to share with our community. Our board members, our founder, Dr. Richard Carr in the back, right there, and Colleen. Yep. Colleen is one of the ushers, his wife, wonderful. Jan Boulay, our ushers, Beacock Music, Music World, Evergreen Public Schools in the video production department, and again, Thomas Friedman up in the booth. Thanks again, Thomas. Now, let's go back in time a little bit. Who here remembers paper routes? I do. Who remembers going to a circus? I do. And I don't mean like the in-laws for Thanksgiving. I mean a real circus. You know, one with live animals and bands playing crazy fast marches without stopping. Our next piece, Trombone King, was written by Karl King. He started on cornet, like myself, paid for by his paper routes, like myself, and eventually moved to playing the euphonium, unlike myself, because I like trumpet. And if you don't know what a euphonium is, you can always ask a euphonium player, but be ready for a long conversation. Whoop, sorry about that, too close. King loved the sound of his euphonium, which is why he put the melody in the low brass in many of his compositions. In a series of chance happenings that all worked out, he eventually led and was part of the Barnum and Bailey Circus and became good friends with John Philip Sousa. If you haven't read the program notes yet, here is an interesting fact. In Iowa, the most expensive painting is located in the St. Edmund Catholic School band room, and it's of Karl King. That's how important he is to the band world. So please enjoy Trombone King. Hear the elephants now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's not over yet. Here's a little riddle for you. What do Hugh Jackman, Seth MacFarlane, and Robert Preston all have in common? Anyone have a guess? They've all played the Music Man. Ooh, sorry about that. And his name was Harold Hill, the redeemed charlatan who hoodwinked an entire Iowa town into buying band instruments and uniforms under the ruse that he, the Music Man, would teach them how to play and save their boys from trouble. Oh, trouble with a capital T, and that rhymes with P, and it stands for pool. We've got trouble. So please enjoy 76 Trombones by Meredith Wilson, arranged by Naohiro Iwai. 76 Trombones. Have a great night. Thank you all so much. That last piece always gets me. I spent 20 years in the National Guard, so it has all the favorite marches that we used to do. So it was a good one. And we'd like to say, please come to our next concert, which is March 3rd, 2024. So we'll see you at our next one. Please drive safe and have a great day.